What is up, guys? It is Kevin from Connecticut, and I live right here in beautiful New Haven, right next to Yale University. If you've never been to Yale University, I mean, when you walk around these buildings, you go, "Oh my God, this is it's unbelievable." I mean, you get that regal sense, and you're getting passed by, kids in the Mensa program, and anyway, you feel very human when you do that. Uh, or not worthy. I can't. It's one of those. In each one, first of all, I'm so thrilled to finally be able to give you a YouTube channel that I can stand by. The content in my videos is evergreen. I go to too many YouTube clips and I find things that are garbage and worthless and not worth your time. Great, amazing content is always going to be worth your time. I don't care what business niche you're in. Today, we're going to talk about financial advisors. But one of the cool things I want to do with my channel is I want to put a little bit of a nugget into each one of the videos that's not in another video. And it's sort of like my little dare to get you to watch all of them and pick up more and more of my stuff, because I believe that the content that I'm about to show, the content generation that I'm about to show you, will be relevant, I think, forever. I think. I mean, of course it's arguable, but I this is as close to a material as I've seen. Okay, and I'm very proud of that. And I have a cold. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about the best ChatGPT prompts for financial advisors. Okay. It's a great keyword. The longer the keyword, the less the competition, but the more the relevancy and the more apt you are to be talking to a buyer. You put the word best in front of anything, and suddenly you're talking to a buyer. I want to talk for just a second before we get into this about a strategy that you should think of. Google wants consistency, okay? Google wants to reward people for great content, because the job of Google is to find the keyword that's being searched and then find the most relevant piece of content that answers the search. Now, as you're going to see in this video, the most relevant content can be derived and is by great prompt engineering. I do two things. I create prompts and I create content from prompts, and that's how I help business owners. And let's start here. I mean, why should you guys believe anything I say? And it's because for 2 decades I worked at some of the bigger ad agencies in the world, and I worked on heavy duty brands, and you guys have seen a lot of my commercials, and one of the brands that I loved the most was Partnership for a Drug-Free America. I was on some of the best teams there, and you guys have seen my stuff. Just don't know why I did it. I don't get the credit. Okay, so I am a word person, right? I'm a wordsmith. My toolbox is filled with things that help me craft words in ways that get or enable me to have people be able to buy from the content that I create. And that's my background. That's what I've done my whole life. Okay. I don't go to ChatGPT and say, hey, write me an article about this keyword in 1,000 words. I don't do that, because that's third grade, maybe even second. I'd have to check my notes. I take a pre-prompt in there, and the reason I can't show you all of the pre-prompt is because some of this has, some of the things I've had to test that work so damn well, and I just can't show it, because then everybody would go do it, and then and then there'd be a run on a bank, or whatever, however you say that expression. But I use a pre-prompt because I want to tell ChatGPT how I want it to think. Okay? I'm going to tell it about tone. I'm going to tell it about keywords. I'm going to tell it about LSI keywords, which are different than your main keywords. I'm going to tell it about style and grace and kindness and approachability and calls to action. My prompts are 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs long. So if you think you're going to go and buy a generic prompt somewhere that's going to beat mine, let's put an American dollar bet on the fact that you never will. And that's, you guys know, I mean, the more effort you put into something, the more quality you get out of it. Okay. So when I go after keywords, I use crazy software. So here's a keyword. What does a financial advisor do? Okay. This is an example. There's a kabillion long tail keywords out there. Your job is to be producing content that's going to give value to the people who watch your content, right? Then you put a link in the content and then they go, hey, this guy just told me something pretty damn cool. I'm going to get in touch with this guy and maybe I could work with him or girl. Um, so here's a really good keyword. Again, low competition, but super high quality in terms of what you could be doing for yourself and your business, whether through a blog or through a YouTube channel like I'm doing, or through posting on sites like medium.com or vocal or any of those places where links can be put in there that will bring people back over to you. Now, look at this. This software is insane because what it does is it allows me to find super high competition keywords, cost based on cost per click, based on availability. The Google Keyword Planner does not do this. It doesn't. Absolutely not. So I use very, very sophisticated ways for me to drill down and find keywords that look like this. And I know precisely what's going on the pricing structure, the competition structure, and all that stuff with these exact keywords. Okay. Every piece of content that you create goes after a single keyword. One, not 10. One. Okay. Um, Now, here's what most people would do. They would take a keyword like you just saw here, and they would run like the devil over to, ChatGPT or ChatGPT 4, excuse my cold, and type that exact thing in, write a blog post, about this exact keyword. That's where beginners go, right? After watching this, you're not going to do that. Now, I did that with that exact keyword, and I came up with an article that uh, is this one right here, okay? This exact article, okay? And I'm going to copy the entire thing. And this is the danger that you guys have to understand. If you think that you're going to go to ChatGPT and type in a major keyword and just get content that's just going to rank and you're going to do 29 posts per day and kick ass all over the web, guess what? When you check for AI, this is an AI detection bot. You're going to be very, very, very disappointed because you see those red marks right here. That means that Google and everybody else on the planet, probably including your neighbors, know that the content that you created with this keyword inside of ChatGPT, which is supposed to be so amazing and is, by the way, is trash. This article is trash. And it was a waste of all of my time, but I did it to prove a point. If you use a prompt like this, you're going to get results like these, and it's a waste. Okay. Now, let's say you're a tiny bit clever, right? And maybe you know some of what I do on the beginning of my prompt because it's those first 5 words at the beginning of a prompt that start the process to get you to an amazing place. And I can't show you those. Okay. Here's a better prompt. You're clever. Here's a better prompt. You are a seasoned financial advisor who loves sharing great content about newest and smartest ways for people to grow wealth. Be approachable, but honest and specific. Ooh, what you're starting to do is go deep dive down, right? You're asking it to pull more stuff out, right? Which is why I use the pre-prompt. And in 1,000 words, write an article. This prompt right here will lessen the amount of red on this page, but will not eliminate it. Okay. Now, let's say that you have created this prompt that is tone and manner and structure and approachability and calls to action, and it just goes through the whole thing. I mean, it is this beautiful prompt that could take 2 or 3 hours to write, by the way, okay? Most people, that's just foreign to most people. But if you want great results, you got to go and get great prompts. And great prompts are done by great engineers. And hopefully what you're learning in this video is that I might be one of those, okay? Nobody's sure yet. The other thing to consider is there are functional things that need to be inside of your content that most people never do, okay? Your main keyword, which is right here again, what does a financial advisor do? Guess what? That needs to be in your post or description or whatever at a certain percentage of time. Now, most people try to either keyword stuff or they leave this step out. So, Google's sitting there with a semblance of what they think you're trying to rank for. So this needs to be inside of your prompt, okay? And then this is where it gets crazy. For every main keyword, there are what are called LSI keywords, which surround the main keyword and tell Google that it is supporting that keyword. So in my prompts, I use 50 of the best semantic LSI keywords that would ever surround this keyword. And the reason I do that is because nobody does that. Almost nobody does that. I mean, the heavy hitters in the SEO world, they definitely do that. And so, again, this is something that you need to consider that you just don't yet, and hopefully that's why this video is going to touch a nerve, Prompts can't be a single line of copy because you're going to get what your competition's getting, and then you're all going to be competing in the same sandbox, and then it's ugly. Sand gets in everywhere. Anyway, with my prompts, I create content that gets this. Okay, so I took that exact same article, the same one that you saw here, that got all these reds. I took it into, I crafted a prompt around it. Took me a while. But I got this. This means that, and I can fix this one, by the way, this yellow, evil yellow. This means that the web thinks that all of this content was written by a human being, and it wasn't. But I know how to curate ChatGPT content after the great prompt has created good content. I then work the content and get this, okay? And this is, you have to have this. And this is evergreen, meaning these keywords are unbeatable, long term. And whether you're doing a YouTube channel or your own blog post, again, let's talk about what we talked about in the very beginning of this thing, right near Yale. Consistency. Do a blog post a week. Start there. Nobody's saying do 3 posts a day, every 3 hours, in the afternoon. Nobody's saying that. Do 1 per week, but on the same day. Do it on a Tuesday, right? Do it on a Tuesday. So then when Google sees that your content is this kick-ass with 51 of your LSI keywords in there and your main keyword used just a hair under 2%, it's going to say Google will start to reward you. That's what they want to do. They want to reward you. That's going to take a little bit of time. You have to allow yourself that time, right? This is a process. Nobody comes out of the gate with an amazing blog post and starts making kick-ass money. It just doesn't happen, okay? It doesn't. Consistency feeds the algorithm, and that's what you guys want. Okay. At the end, when I used my prompt, I am going to leave a link to this. Anytime somebody on YouTube shows something, I always say, God, I wish I could have read that, or I wish I had it up there a little bit longer. And of course I could freeze frame it. But I'm going to leave a link to this. This content is good, and I'm not even taking credit for it. I mean, the prompt is fantastic, and then the curation was really, really strong. Would you read this? I mean, yeah, you would, because it's engaging and it's powerful and it's human. And there are elements of storytelling inside of my prompts that are just so good. And I use names of storytellers inside of this world that are just, it's all interwoven. But there are 51 major keywords inside of this article that over time Google's going to find. And then they're going to say to themselves, oh, whoa, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. This person's putting out good content. That's how this game works, guys. You gotta wear it down just a little bit. I really hope that you have learned a little bit of something here. If nothing else, I want to stress the one thing I won't stress in other videos, which is why I want you to watch all my videos. What I want you to do is have amazing content always. Okay, there's ways to do it, and ChatGPT is insanely powerful. It's insane. But if you use it on the driveway, that's one thing. If you use it on the Autobahn, that's another. I take it past the Autobahn and I get great content because I do have a background in words and calls to action, and I've sold God knows how much stuff with my content. So I know a little bit about what I speak. My contact information is below. If you guys have questions, if you need prompts, professional, heavy duty prompts, you contact me. If you need contact from prompts, I am insanely affordable because I love volume. I want volume and I want your testimonial. Yes, that's the ultimate. That's it. That's all I got. Uh, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a lot out of it. Obviously, hit the like and subscribe. 10 years from now, I defy you to rewatch this video and tell me that the creation of amazing content that is perceived as being 100% human with all of those keywords and all of that structure and all of that tone and all of that voice and all of those unique calls to action. And by the way, all of your main keywords need to be in the beginning of sentences, the middle of sentences, at the end of sentences, in your subheads, and possibly in a list in a very specific way. There's a little bonus. Hope you love this. I love making them. Please watch all my stuff, and my contact information is below. Bye, you guys.